Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact tool and strategy that I use to plan for my businesses 12 months in advance and make sure I'm hitting my goals, focused on the key objectives, and I have a marketing plan and a budget in place. Now, this tool is going to be completely free. You can go to mikeandrews.com/plan and download the template, or go to longtermmedia.com and also see it there. All right, so once you download the template, it's going to show you a 12-month business plan where for every single month of the year, you're going to have a key objective, one goal that you focus on. I find so often at times with entrepreneurs, they're trying to do 5 different things in their business, and because of that, they get nothing done. So I want you to focus on one specific key objective, the only goal for that month. That might be setting up new clients. For example, here we got set up mowing recurring schedules inside of my CRM. But there's a drop down on this document that I've created for you of a whole bunch of different key objectives that you could have, one goal for each month. So if that's my goal, setting up the mowing recurring schedules, it's going to give me a print marketing objective, online strategy, and business development tip. So if we jump down to February, my specific goal, my key objective is to pre-sell spring cleanups. I don't want to have to wait till spring rush to sell all my existing customers spring cleanups. I want them to get done before the spring rush. So what am I going to do? My focus is going to be pre-selling my existing customers spring cleanups. This is going to tell you, based upon this dropdown, this is all just gets pre-populated based upon your goal. It's going to tell you the specific cleanup, every door direct mail campaigns you can run, how to run Facebook ads, 3 different ways to run Facebook ads around property cleanups, as well as actually walk you through a specific property cleanup we did that was $104 per hour, and the crew actually shows you what they were doing. Not myself, actually the actual crew themselves. Now, as we head into, say, the spring rush, my focus becomes increasing the density of my mow routes. And I really want to focus all of my marketing on mowing. So what's it going to do? It's going to give you instant quote door hangers. It's going to tell you exactly what you should be doing to get obsessed about route density, including videos I've made walking you through this process. So the goal in having this document is that you have laser-like focus on one specific thing for every single month. Now, in addition to having a goal, you also need the financial, the budgeting, planning side of things. And that really is going to hinge on what is your gross revenue going to be. Now, obviously, we focus on top line revenue, but I'm also mostly concerned in this document about your cash position. How much money do you have on hand? Because you can have a profitable, growing business that runs out of cash and dies. And it's like oxygen. If you run out of cash, if you run out of oxygen, you die. And you can be very profitable, making a lot of money, big jobs, growing from $20,000 a month to $40,000 a month to $80,000 a month. But you can still run out of cash. And so that's why on the bottom here, when it has the yellow cells, that's where you're going to put a dollar amount in. And that dollar amount is going to correlate with how much money you have on hand. So for example, I'm going to have $20,000 in the bank account today. Okay. Now I'm going to require certain purchases because I'm planning growth this year, right? It's January, $20,000 cash on hand. I need to go out and buy a new mower. I'm going to spend $8,000 on a new mower. Now, my monthly revenue goal for this month is probably going to be pretty low simply due to the fact that, it's not busy during the winter. So $10,000 is going to be my monthly revenue goal. Now, I have a low risk analysis, and based upon the numbers you punch in here, we're going to give you a risk analysis based upon your cash statement. How much money do you have on hand? Is it enough to be able to sustain the business? Now, as we get into February, I just spent $8,000 of my $20,000 on a mower. I might only have, say, $10,000 left in my bank because I got other fixed expenses, and I just know that, hey, I'm going to spring rush. I'm not going to have a lot of work. I'm going to have to burn through some cash as I bought a mower and I'm burning into my cash reserves. Okay, great. Well, if I do purchases required, I'm just going to buy a couple trimmers, maybe a backpack blower. So $1,000 is going to be my purchases required. Well, my monthly revenue goal for this month is, still not as bad as January, but it's still the winter, right? It's still not super busy. So $12,000, still a low risk assessment. But again, I'm going through every single month, these months. I'm figuring out my goal and then figuring out my numbers. Now into March, I'm planning to start growing. I actually think that, in terms of my monthly revenue goal, I think I should be able to do like $40,000. We're really trying to grow this specific month. But because I've just finished going through the off season, my cash position is all the way down to $8,000. $8,000 in the bank. Now, if I do that and my purchase required, I'm not even going to buy anything. I'm not going to buy any trucks. I don't need anything. But still, I have a high risk analysis because I only have $8,000 in the bank and I have a business doing $40,000 a month in revenue. That's very scary. You have literally less than a week's worth of revenue in the bank account. And remember, you might be growing. Like, I'm really excited that you went from $12,000 to $40,000 a month in revenue, but your cash position is going to be very, very scary when you only have $8,000 in the bank account. But you know what? In April, I expect to be able to get some of those deposits in. We're getting up to $15,000 back into the bank account. But you know what? Now we need a truck because we're growing so fast. I need a $10,000 truck. And that's like a cheap one. Let's do a $12,000 truck. Okay, we're growing so fast that we need another truck, $12,000 at least for that truck. My monthly revenue goal, we're just kicking butt. I'm gonna do 55,000. We're growing like hand over fist. Again, high risk. You only have $15,000 in the bank, and you're gonna go spend 12,000 of that on a truck, and you're doing $50,000 a month in business. But you know what? Hey, we're still growing. We're kicking butt, and we are still continuing to grow. Next month, we're gonna do $60,000 in May. And we're not going to buy any trucks or equipment. We've already got that under our belt. And so now we got $20,000 underneath our belt in terms of cash on hand. Well, now we have medium risk. It's a little bit better because at least you have 20 grand in the bank now. Even though the business is growing, we're doing better. But the reason that this is so important to do this type of planning and these projections is because you can actually track when you potentially might need to stop growing. Because if you only have $15,000 in the bank and yet you'll need another truck to keep growing the business, you might want to stop growing at that level, get some more cash underneath your belt before you keep continuing to grow. Not only do you have an actual goal, a key objective, one thing that you focus on the month to give you clarity around what you should focus on, and then gives you marketing strategies and business development around that key objective. But also we are going to track what our cash position is and make sure we don't run out of cash as we continue to grow the business. Now, when it comes to marketing, at the very top, I want you to put your annual marketing spend and say, hey, we're going to spend $20,000 in marketing this year. Every single month, you're then going to put what your marketing spend percentage is. So for example, if I'm spending 5% of my total budget for the year, I'm going to spend $1,000 in marketing in January. And the reason I do this is because I want you to see that, hey, if I actually really focus on spending 20%, 25, 30% of my marketing budget during the spring rush, that's going to be like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month if I spend 30% of my marketing budget in April. And $6,000 a month, that's what, $200 a day that I've got to spend on marketing. This is going to tell you how to do it. This one specifically gives you 3 actionable ways to use Facebook to run ads and get more. What is this? We're trying to do marketing for mowing. We're trying to get mowing customers. This gives you the strategies to do that. So I highly recommend you check out this document. It's completely free. There's no cost whatsoever. Go to mikeandys.com/plan. And what's really cool is at the end of every single month, it gives you a reminder of what you're needing to focus on and just kind of a note from myself. For example, at the end of September, it says the majority of profits are realized in the second half of the year. Make sure you are saving enough for the slow season and don't go and blow all the cash reserves on fancy equipment. These are the type of reminders you need to know. Also, things like tax time. This one here says, hey, you got to have a tax strategy in place. It's December. I know you're busy. I know you're tired. I know it's holidays, but you've got to have a tax strategy in place. You got to know what your estimated payments are going to be, and potentially go buy some equipment or trucks earlier so that way you can have a Section 179. Deduct those in this calendar year and reduce your tax liability. This is the way that I plan in my businesses. I don't like to project way out into the future, 5, 10 years. You're basically just guessing. I just want to have a very clear, actionable step-by-step for every single month and have one key thing that I focus on. If I can just do one thing a month, I will crush it and probably take massive market share from my competition. Now, if you're building your business and you're under $500,000 in annual revenue, watch this video here, because there's only really one thing you need to know when it comes to marketing. And if you just know this one metric in your business, you'll grow your business to $500,000 in a flash. Check this video out right here.